Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
What is today? It's Wednesday. And all of our guests, including Farhan Lalji, standing by in Ottawa, are brought to you by our title sponsor, Able Auctions and ableauctions.ca. Farhan in the nation's capital, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you? What are you doing there?
I'm here for the CFC Prospects game. In fact, I think last year I did a hit with you guys right here, probably from the same chair at the same event. So it's basically, Canada's version of the All-American game, right? Top high school players in the country are here. The game is on TSN, so I got a chance to broadcast that, plus the Red Blacks game after. So it's a lot of fun to see kind of that next wave, and we're seeing it, right? Like the kids that played in the first version of this game, some of them were drafted into the CFL draft this year, and some more will be next year. So it is pretty cool to kind of watch the whole thing come full circle.
How much better are kids now than they were, say, 10, 20 years ago?
Well, they're better and they're more prepared now, right? I mean, you can just see that the coaching that a lot of these kids get, whether it's at the university level or even before they get to university, and you're seeing more Canadian kids make their way to American prep school systems and get a chance to play at a higher level before they get to the collegiate level. So, it's unfortunate that has to happen in some cases, but nonetheless, we're one way or the other, we're getting better players at the front end collegiately, and that results in players more prepared and in a better position to succeed when they get out of college.
Okay, so let's talk some CFL here. Farhan, first of all, this is kind of CFL, but your take on the Lions' ability to land 50 Cent as the act for their concert kickoff. Ticket sales are going through the roof.
Yeah, you know what? The real question is, what shirt is Rick going to wear for the concert, right? Because, we all kind of grew up on Fitty. So I got to wear my TSN clothes regardless.
Fitty, not me, Farhan.
It's not going to be a Hawaiian shirt, right? It's going to be something pretty outlandish after a couple of Crown. I know.
I'm not going. Not going. I'm going to show up at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock game time.
I am driving you there myself, buddy.
Oh,
you were
going. Not going to go. Farhan, don't try to tell us you grew up on 50 Cent.
And Fitty,
Come on, give me a break.
You know what? It's funny that my first memory, not my first, but my one memory of him, like literally 20 years ago now, the Stanley Cup final, and we're going back and forth between Jersey and Anaheim. And I'm there with Pierre Maguire and Gordon Miller, and all of a sudden we see this like rush of people in the terminal, going from gate to gate, and there's a golf cart and there's a security detail around, and one of the security guards like bumps into Pierre and kind of knocks him down. And it turns out 50 Cent is on the golf cart going from gate to gate to get to someplace. And, I kind of had to stand in between Pierre and a security guard to make sure that nothing happened there, because, he can get pretty testy in those moments. So, so fortunately I wasn't part of an international incident, because that could have gone sideways. But I'm here to talk about it 20 years later and watch him in concert. But it's pretty cool, because when you look at is it fair to say that of the three acts that Amar Doman has brought for the season opener, One Republic and LL Cool J, that maybe this is the most popular? I mean, he just sold out Rogers Arena recently, right, within the past year. Like, is it safe to say that the acts continue to go up and up?
It is fair to say that, and it makes me worry about Amar Doman and what he's got to do next year to top this. This is pretty big. Hey, did you expect Amar Doman, honestly, Farhan, to be this effective as an owner?
Amar and I have a mutual friend that is a highly successful individual.
50 Cent?
And that friend said, no. That friend said to me, and I trust him impeccably. He said to me that Amar will leave this better than he found it. And he is a builder, and it matters to him. Community matters to him, right? So, and that person was surprised. He was actually, kept in the dark about Doman's interest in purchasing the Lions. But, kind of the things that he touched on about what he's like in the business community, because I really didn't know him at all until he bought the team as well, left me with a lot of confidence that this thing was headed in the right direction.
Farhan, Canuck news, again, another coach leaves. First Mike Collinson, now Mike Yeo. They effectively don't have a penalty killing or power play coach right now, so that's going to be on the to-do list. But not a lot of people surprised Mike Yeo left.
Yeah, especially when you heard Talkin's comments at the end of the season at the press conference saying that he expected to keep his coaching staff intact, and it sounds like this was potentially a money issue, right? Or a contractual issue of some kind, because it sounds like they clearly wanted him back. So, it makes you wonder, right? I mean, losing Jeremy Colliton when, again, they made him a contract offer and they wanted him back. Now, I do think they could be in a position in Abbotsford to fall forward, because I think Manny Malhotra could be a really, really good hire there. And I think he'll have the respect of players and coaches the game with a lot of detail, and I think he can make a real difference. And I think Jeremy Colliton did a really good job, but I don't know that there has to be a drop-off there in terms of Manny Malhotra. And I think Manny needed this opportunity, after getting put back upstairs in Toronto to get the opportunity to run his own team and run his own bench and show what he can do that way. And you're right, Rick, as far as the Canucks are concerned, because Yeo was a holdover from the Boudreau staff, and obviously Talkin saw enough in him to keep him and to give him a lot of input. So to me, I would hope that they get somebody that can potentially handle both systems. Because remember, Sergei Gonchar is still kind of a part-time guy, right? He's not with the team full-time. So Adam Foote's not enough to do all of that. So they're going to have to go get a guy. I don't know that Daniel and or Henrik want to be doing that. But if they can find somebody to potentially take on both special teams, I think they'd be farther ahead.
A lot of free agent talk today. There's lists out. Everyone's talking about sign this guy, sign this guy, sign this guy. But when it comes to the Canucks, what free agents, who's 1 and 2 on your list of they got to get this done? And it's been 9 days since the season ended. No signings.
If I was picking the top 2 in my pecking order, would be Nikita Zadorov and Dakota Joshua. And I know there's a real debate about where Phil Roenick should sit in that, but when I look at what the dollars are going to be required for similar money, and I think it could have a significant impact. So I think Phil Roenick is a really good player, and obviously he's helped Quinn Hughes, but I think Quinn Hughes has helped him more. So for me, just when you see the projections on these sites in terms of what a contract could look like, I keep seeing a 3-year option. And I keep seeing a 3-year option for Phil Roenick at $6.1 million. Now, I don't know that that'll happen. I think it'll be, sign the qualifying offer or, get a 1-year deal done, or it'll be the long-term extension. If they could get that 3-year deal done, that's the path I would walk down with Roenick. But in terms of Zadorov, I think he's made a huge impact on that lineup. Look, you can't pay $5 million for a third-pair defenseman. So if they could get the term right to get him maybe potentially a little bit less, I'd certainly go that way. And I think Dakota Joshua is a rare player and is a player I would bet on that could play up a level. They kind of did this with Mikheyev, right? They got a third-line guy and thought he could be a second-line guy, and it blew up. And they've done that before. But I think Joshua showed an ability. He's got goal scorer's hands. And when we saw that before his wrist injury, it wasn't just the goals he was scoring, it was the types of goals he was scoring. You combine that with his physical presence, there's a guy I could immediately see up in my lineup with a huge, huge ceiling.
The transmission here isn't great from Ottawa. Are you borrowing Trudeau's laptop by any chance?
Sorry. Maybe I've got his iPhone. You never know.
Okay. Yeah. All right, friend. Outstanding. We'll talk to you next week. Safe travels. Can you hear me?
Thanks, guys. Yeah. Rick, plan the outfit. Come on, do it. Plan the outfit.
I'm going to the game. I'm showing up at 4. I'm not going to watch the concert.
Get on it. Thanks, Farhan. That Trudeau joke just fell from flat as
over his head. Over his head.